we'll plan a meet on the GST. And tomorrow it is on the reassessments from 147 to 151 of the Tax Act. Income Tax Act, and after Sunday, Monday being it is program on the company law, which is dealt by the Manoj Garu, the intricacies on the filing of Form AOC 4. So we are just refreshing our knowledge and doing the needful things. Before starting the meeting, I request to rise for a motto song. And you need not rise onto this thing. You can place your hand on your heart. Thank you.
Yaesha sukteshu jagrati, Yaesha sukteshu jagrati. Kamam 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 pursho nirmimanaha tadeva shukram tada brahma tadeva amritamuchyate tasmin lokaha shataha Sarve tadunātyati kaśchan etadvaita
Thank you. Now I request our chairman to give away the opening remarks.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This resource person and son of the soil, CA Sudhir Garu, my immediate past chairman, G. Srinivasarao Garu, past chairman of Vijayawada branch, senior members and members across the professional industry who are logged in for today's virtual CP seminar. Good evening to one and all. At the outset, I welcome you all for today's CP seminar on the topic recent amendments in GST. Of course, we have planned, as right said by Gstr sir, we have planned a 3-day CP program. It has been the saga of Vijayawada branch that when sir was had the helm of efforts, like we used to conduct a 3-day program, 4-day program with a nice tagline of for the each block CP seminars. So as a series of that, we have planned these 3 days, 3 seminars. Of course, Sunday being the holiday, we have given a gap on that. And I request all the members to have a knowledge feast on 3 different topics in 3 different versatiles, be it income tax, Gstr, company law. And I also would like to, whenever there is a gap, of course, we had a continuous seminar till December end. Also, we have planned a few workshops also. But later then, because of this tax sites, later than festival, Sankranti festival, we had a small gap. But when sir called me and sir, Purna elections are going to be there, that is a different aspect. We need to plan for CP seminars also. So I will rope in a few speakers. First speaker coming to my mind was our own son of the soil, Sudhir Garu, and the same was shared by Srinivas Garu also, Gstr Garu also. So immediately it was happy that whenever there is a gap, we want to once again to be on track or to get back on track or with a Gango session or with a vibrant session. And none other than Sudhir sir will come into our mind. Of course, we are fortunate enough to have him. And without any denial, of course, maybe other branches I don't know. He's busy with GST matters and all. I know, and he also is a faculty. That also would be. But whenever we call him, we can be assured that he is there for Vijayawada branch always, and it has been our experience. Wonderful, sir. I must share this because it feels always to have a speaker at branch and to disseminate knowledge at this level, really wonderful. So with these thoughts, anyway, we approach it, sir, and we have planned for today's session. So I request all the students to be attentive and pay, of course, definitely if you, I'm sure you all are here to listen to sir, but if you are a first timer, I'm sure that you will not leave the screen until sir puts up the screen or sir says thank you slide comes. That will be the session. That much I can vouch for on behalf of him. So please note down the vital aspects which will be touched upon by on the latest amendments in GST. With this, I hope to see you tomorrow and after tomorrow also. So please join tomorrow and after tomorrow also. With these thoughts, I hand over the proceeding to Gstr sir to briefly introduce Sudhir Garu to the August gathering. Over to you, sir.
Friends, thank you, sir, and thank you, Chairman, sir, for the nice introduction. Friends, as you all know that GST becoming a very tougher and tougher for all the practicing chartered accountants, because as you know that this act is becoming now in leaps and bounds, spreading into the leaps and bounds, and there are so many circulars, so many notifications pouring in day and day out. So to have a updation of the knowledge about those things, because the GST is becoming nowadays in such a way that only experts who are practicing continuously can inform about the GST matters. Otherwise, now and then, if you are going to see the act and advise our clients, it is not at all possible. We have to see day in, day out a lot of circulars and notifications and everything. So we are fortunate to have CA Chundur Sudhir Garu among us. So he is going to update us from the notifications and circulars from the last April onwards. I requested them to be attentive and have a knowledge piece over them. It is my privilege and to introduce CA Sudhir Garu. He is a chartered accountant by profession. He is a consistent topper in the school and college level also. He has completed his CA and CMA at an younger age of 21. Mind you, it is 21. By 21 years, he has completed his chartered accountancy and cost accountancy course. And his achievements in the study, during the study, is also All India 6th ranker at the final level, All India 43rd ranker at ICWA Inter, and received Pratibha Award from the AP State Government in intermediate and a district first ranker in intermediate. About the coming to the achievements in his profession, he has given various GST seminars for accountants, chartered accountants in at Vijayawada, Gunturu, Ongolu, Eluru. As of now, he presented GSTR 9 and 9C, that is reconciliation statements and also annual return. He has given in 20 plus seminars. He has taken various CPE lecture meetings at Vijayawada, Eluru, Gunturu, and Kakinada ICI branches. Coming to the achievements in the professional training, he is a very good trainer for the students. He deals with the direct and indirect taxes to the CA and CMA final students from the last 6 years. He taught over 3,000 plus students as of now. At present, he is a member of the Indirect Tax Committee of the AP Chamber of Commerce. With this brief intro, I present CA Sudhir Garu to you all. Thank you, and over to Sudhir Garu.
Yes, sir. Good evening to all. So it gives me immense pleasure once again to have a CPE meeting at our Vijayawada branch. So one thing, when Purna sir has become chairman, we have begin with the CPE with my explanation, and now this is the last series of session, and we are also going to end with this one. So once again, I thank Vijayawada branch for giving me this opportunity. So regarding this GST amendment, sir, from the past, from April onwards. So in order to get updated from the past April onwards, the recent circulars and notifications which were released by CBIC. So those aspects I am going to give a clear clarification. So the material is already been shared. So now I am going to present it in the screen. So first I am going to begin with notifications, and then I will go for circulars. So total 20 notifications I am going to deal. So let me begin. Yes, sir. Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. It is
Perfect.
visible.
Perfect.
Right, sir. You can go ahead.
So coming to GST latest amendment, sir, I am beginning with notifications. So everything I am trying to deal now in a most practical manner, because everyone is in practice, and each and every amendment in the sense it may be a notification or circular, how it will be useful in our practice and how we are going to suggest to our clients. So each and every aspect in a most easily understandable manner, I am going to present each and every fact. So first amendment is extension of a refund time period in case of deficiencies raised. So this is very, very useful concept, sir, in practice, because whenever we need to apply GST refunds, so their CA certification has become mandated. That incidence of tax has not been passed on to the other person. Whenever the refund amount has exceeded 2 lakhs, so the chartered accountant is going to certify. We are also generating UDIN, and the document CA certificate in Annexure 2, we are going to attach. Here, what we need to remember here is what is the time limit for refund application in GST? Actually, the refund application time limit is 2 years from the relevant date. It depends upon the fact. 2 years time limit has been given to apply for refund application. For example, sir, now we are in January 2022. So last January 2020 year, if there is any inverted duty structure refund, January 2020. So if there is any inverted duty structure refund, so I am going to make refund application because 2 years time limit has not expired till now. So I am going to apply for refund application. But if there are any deficiencies raised by the department after making application in RFD1, in RFD1 we are going to apply online. After making application RFD1, if any deficiencies were pointed out by the department, again we need to resubmit. But to raise the deficiencies, department has 60 days time limit. To sanction refund, department have 60 days time limit. So now, if they are raising deficiencies after 20 days or 30 days, in meanwhile, this January is being expired, January 2020, 2 years time period is going to end. Now, if they are raising any queries in February or March, now I am unable to submit this January 2020 refund application. Whenever deficiencies were raised in RFD 03, again we need to resubmit RFD 1. I have already submitted January 2020 within 2 years. But when the deficiencies were raised, it was raised in February or March. When at the time of resubmitting, the time limit of January is already completed. So the taxpayers are paying difficulty here. Within the time limit only we have applied, but officer is raising deficiencies. So that who is suffering here ultimately? SSC is suffering. Time limit is being expired. That's why a very, very important clarification is given in this notification 15/2021 that when any deficiencies were raised in RFD 03, in such case, those deficiencies raising period shall be excluded from the 2 years time period. That means, sir, I have applied today on January 28th. If I applied for refund application, and they are going to raise queries in March first week because they have 60 days time limit for sanctioning the order. If they are going to raise any queries in March first week, then from January 28th, the date I have applied for refund, till they are raising deficiencies, if they are raising deficiencies on March 4th, this time period will be excluded from 2 years. That means we are going to get additional time limit. Very, very useful in our practice. So when deficiencies were raised by the department, from the date I am applying for refund to the date they are raising deficiencies, this time period which has been lapsed will be excluded from 2 years. That means we are going to get extension. SSC wise, if any deficiencies were raised by the department, so what we can do in this case, we can get excluded. Those time period which has been lapsed during deficiency will be excluded. That means number of days from January 28 to March 4th, whatever there be number of days, that time period will be extended 2 years plus those number of days we are going to get. So this is very, very useful aspect in practice, sir, because generally due to work burden, in many cases, clients also approach when the due date comes. So January, if it is going to expire if this month, now they will come and they will ask to file refund application. So immediately if we file, later if department is raising any deficiencies, will the time period get expired? No. When the department is raising any deficiencies, the time period which has been lapsed from that date of application till the date the deficiency is raised by the department will be excluded. Here, if you see clearly, it was specified, excluded from the period of 2 years. Okay, this is very, very important notification practically, because when we say to department also, sir, what they will say is the time period is expired. No, now when you are resubmitting the application, you have to, when March 4th, if they are raising query, only March 2020 only is eligible for refund. They will say like that. So we can argue based on this notification, the time period which has been expired during that deficiencies rising period. So we are going to get extension. We can tell to the SIM officer in this notification, it has been clarified. Okay. And next thing, withdrawal of refund application. If any mistakes I have uploaded in refund application, before raising deficiencies by the department only, we can withdraw at any time, at any time before sanction order. Any queries, any mistake has been uploaded in the refund application, we have identified on our own before raising deficiency by the department. If we have identified on our own, in such a case, what we can do? We can withdraw the refund application. When such withdrawal can be made at any time before sanction order. So withdrawal, actually what we are going to do is in GST website, after logging, in GST website, after logging, in my applications, in user services, my applications, we can find the refund application which we have filed. There only, when we are viewing the refund application, below that one point called withdrawal of refund application is been present. So at any time before the sanction order, if we are uploading any mistakes in refund application, we can withdraw. Sir, when we are filing refund application, our credit ledger, it will be debited. When we are filing refund application, credit ledger will be reduced. Now, when I am withdrawing the refund application, the amount which has been reduced will be recredited to the credit ledger. It will be recredited to the credit ledger. Here, if you see, upon withdrawal of refund application, upon withdrawal, in this form, we are going to withdraw. The amount debited to the credit ledger, initially whatever is debited, that will be credited to the credit ledger again. That means we are going to get the credit again. If you withdraw the refund application. Sir, when refund application can be withdrawn? At any time before sanction order. At any time before sanction order, we can withdraw. That was also specified in this notification 15 only. Next, this is very, very useful in our practice. First, I am going to put you a general question, which is a most trending question also from the past 2 years. Very, very important trending question also. A simple basic question I will try to ask to you, sir. You can answer on your own. Okay. Sir, this month's gross tax liability, IGST, CGST, SGST. Sir, all of you please concentrate. This is very, very useful aspect in our practice. Gross tax liability, IGST, CGST, SGST. Gross tax liability is 10 lakhs. Let us assume the gross tax liability is 10 lakhs. Out of which my ITC available is 7 lakhs. ITC available 7 lakhs. Now, how much I am going to pay through cash ledger? 3 lakhs I am going to pay through cash ledger. Now, this 3 lakhs I have to pay by 20th of the following month at the time of filing 3B itself. If I am paying this tax on 26th, so 6 days I have made delay. Now, I have to pay interest 18% per annum into 6 days divided by 365 days. I have to pay interest for 6 days. But on which amount I have to pay interest? Should I pay interest on 10 lakhs or I have to pay interest on 3 lakhs? So from the past 2 years, this is most trending aspect where in Finance Act 2020 itself, they have clarified that you have to pay interest only on cash portion. That means on 3 lakhs only, I have to pay interest. But an exception is given in this notification 16/2021. In this notification 16/2021, an exception to that point is being specified. That means we have to pay interest on 10 lakhs in some case. What is that case? That let us discuss. Generally, sir, here I have given. Generally, interest will be levied on tax paid on cash portion at the time of filing 3B. So generally, interest will be levied on cash portion only. But there is an exception. What is that exception? Sir, before filing GST or 3B, if department issues any proceedings against section 73 or 74, any notice is given by the department under section 73 or 74. For example, a demand is being raised to pay 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs demand department is raising, sir. This demand, can I use ITC? Yes, I can use ITC for payment, but on these demands raised by the department under section 73 or 74, we are liable to pay interest. Sir, we are set offing, I'm going to set off credit ledger only now towards demand. Even though you are setting off credit ledger, whenever demand is raised by the department, but if 3B is being filed after commencement of proceeding 73 or 74, sir, from the past 6 months or from the past 5 months, I didn't file Gstr 3B. I have kept it pending due to client didn't give me information or due to my busy, whatever may be. From the past 5 months, I didn't file Gstr 3B. Now, if department issues notice and later I am paying notice under which section, sir? Generally, they give notice under 46, 15 days time period, or else we'll do best judgment assessment. Now, I am not talking regarding notice under section 46. If any proceedings were commenced under section 73 or 74, willful suppression is there. If department has commenced proceeding under 73 or 74, now if I am filing Gstr 3B, then on gross tax liability, I should pay interest. Sir, generally, interest we will pay only on cash portion, on net tax liability only, we are liable to pay interest. That is what Finance Act 2020 has specified. Even in 2021 Finance Act also. Section 50. What section 50 is specifying? You pay interest only on net tax liability. But if you pay tax after department commencing proceedings again under section 73 or 74, then interest is to be liable to be paid on gross tax liability. That is what I am highlighting here. So don't wait till notice raised by the department. So month to month we have to file 3B. Now there is another amendment also which I will tell later at this at my discussion only. If this month 3B I didn't file, next month GSTR 1 I cannot file. Earlier all the assessing number of SCs are filing GSTR 1, but they are not filing 3Bs. That's why from this 1st January onwards, 1st January 2022, the one more amendment which I will discuss later. When preceding month 3B is not filed, then in succeeding month we cannot file GSTR 1. So that aspect has come into existence. So generally, let me conclude this amendment number 3. So what is amendment number 3 is, sir, here we are discussing notifications released and then we will go for circulars. So total notifications, sir, if you see in my discussion, so total 17 points I am trying to discuss with you. Total 17 points, 17 amendments, 17 notifications, 17 points we are trying to discuss, in which I am in point number 3. What point number 3 summary? Generally, tax interest to be paid on cash portion only, on net tax liability. But if proceedings were commenced under section 73 or 74, then on gross tax liability, interest will be liable to be paid. So that is a third amendment. Now coming to fourth amendment, E-Invoice. Sir, E-Invoice has become mandatory whenever our aggregate turnover exceeds 50 crores. E-Invoice has become mandatory from this 1st April 2021 onwards. But that E-Invoice, there are 2 exceptions which were given in this notification. That means government departments and local authorities, even though they are having GST registration, even though their turnover is exceeding 50 crores, they need not raise E-Invoice. They need not raise E-Invoice. So E-Invoice generally when our turnover is greater than 50 crores at in any financial year, if our turnover is greater than 50 crores, then the concept of E-Invoice becomes mandatory. But the exception given for E-Invoice here in this notification 23/2021 is, so government departments and local authorities are excluded from the provisions of E-Invoice. Normal invoice they have to issue, they need not issue E-Invoice. Okay. So now coming to amendment number 5. So it is a sad topic to a chartered accountant and also a cost accountant. So we are very much worried regarding this aspect. But since the amendment has come, so we have to get it implemented. So GST audit for 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. So chartered accountant has certified GSTR 9C. GSTR 9C, sir, we chartered accountants, we are certifying GSTR 9C. We are going to add our digital signature and we are filing GSTR 9C. But now GSTR 9C need to be certified. GSTR 9C to be self-certified by the SSE himself. So earlier, here please make a correction, sir. GSTR 9C need not be certified by the CAR CMA from financial 2021. Now 9C is to be self-certified by the SSE himself. Earlier, as a chartered accountant, CAR CMA, so is going to certify GSTR 9C reconciliation statement. But now that reconciliation statement, SSE himself, and now 9C has become very simple, sir. Digital signature also is not required. Using EVC, we can do straight away. Directly 9C using Excel utility, we are generating JSON. That JSON directly we are updating, we are uploading in the website, and just using EVC filing is enough. Now the digital signature of client is also not necessary. Earlier auditor, we are attaching DSC. Many DSC issues also, many networking issues also we have faced. But now there is no issue at all. Now 9C is to be self-certified by the SSE himself. Self-certification can be done using EVC. DSC is not mandatory at all now. Next, for whom 9C is applicable? Same as previous years only, sir. Whenever our AATO means aggregate annual turnovers. AATO stands for aggregate annual turnover when it exceeds 5 crores. Sir, till 2 crores, nothing is required to be filed. 2 to 5 crores, GSTR 9 is enough. 2 to 5 crores, sir, GSTR 9 is enough. But whenever the turnover exceeds 5 crores, then 9C is applicable. So 9C is applicable to taxpayers having aggregate turnover exceeding 5 crores during the financial year 2021. Sir, for whom 9 is applicable? 9 is applicable when our turnover is exceeding 2 crores. That means above 2 crores, sir, 2 to 5 crores, 9 is enough. Above 5 crores turnover, both 9 and also 9C, both are required to be submitted. So here, now it is SSE's responsibility. Now auditor need not file this GSTR 9C. Now it is completely SSE's responsibility. So our risk is reduced. At the same time, income also will be reduced. So earlier we are going to charge for GST audits, but now since it is a self-certification by the SSE, so how far they are going to pay fees to us is a dilemma, is a contradictory aspect. But coming to the fact, so GST audit has been omitted. Omission of GST audit by CAR CMA. Now it's a self-certified reconciliation statement by SSE himself. So one important thing to be noted is using EVC we can submit 9C, sir. Now digital signature is not mandatory. For company it is mandatory, sir. For companies it's always, even GSTR 1 and 3B also. For companies we are filing using DSC. Okay. Next, coming to the next thing. Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory in some forms. So now for new GST registration, sir, Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory. Then only we are getting early GST registrations. Or else coming physical visit by the department, it is taking 30 to 35 days. So now Aadhaar authentication, it has become mandatory for early GST registrations. Even though already registered dealers also, Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory in some forms. In which case, sir, revocation of cancellation of registration. Revocation of cancellation of registration. Regarding this aspect, there is an amendment also, sir. There is one of the circular. Let me have a discussion regarding that aspect. In circular, one clarification is given. Circulars also forms part of our today's discussion, sir. Circular number 1. Circular number 1 means our serial number, sir. But from department point of view, circular number 148 in 2021, this is the 4th circular, and overall it's 148th circular. I repeat, sir, in 2021, this is the 4th circular. Overall, this is circular number 148. What was specified in circular number 148? An operating procedure is given for revocation of cancellation of registration. Sir, first of all, what do you mean by the term cancellation of registration? Our registration is being cancelled. Registration cancellation of registration is of two types. Number one, SSC applying for cancellation, or number two, department suo moto making cancellation. Sir, SSC applying for cancellation means he might have closed his business or he might have transferred his business. But department is cancelling registration suo moto means SSC might have not filed GST returns from the past 6 months, or upon physical visit to the SSC's premises, SSC is not found there at all. There is no unit at all there. Or now recently, rule number 86B has come into existence, no sir, last year, April onwards. 1% of the tax liability, whenever our tax liability exceeds 50 lakhs, 1% of the tax liability should be paid through cash ledger. Only 99% we have to use straight ledger. 1% should be paid through cash ledger. If that aspect has been violated, in all these cases, department can suo moto cancel the registration of the SSC. That is called as cancellation of registration suo moto by the department. Then what the SC should do? That query which was there, he has to resolve, and he has to apply for revocation of cancellation. So revocation of cancellation means getting back our registration. Getting back our registration. Department, if they cancel our registration, can we get back? Yes. Based on which query they have cancelled the registration, we have to ask them. And after knowing that fact, we have to rectify them and we have to ask for revocation. That means getting back our registration. Generally, we have to apply for revocation of cancellation of registration within 30 days from the cancellation. Whenever the proper officer, PO stands for proper officer, cancels registration suo moto. If officer on his own is cancelling registration suo moto, then within how much time period we have to apply? Generally, within 30 days we have to apply. But 31 to 90 days, that means 60 more days extension will be given. For that extension, one operating procedure is being specified in this circular. One operating procedure is being specified in this circular. What is that one, sir? Here, if you see, we have to write a letter to the proper officer. Sir, what do you mean by the term proper officer? To our jurisdictional officer. We have to check the jurisdiction in GST website. To the jurisdiction officer, we have to write a letter or give a mail. Then that officer forwards to the jurisdictional joint commissioner or assistant commissioner. And the joint commissioner or assistant commissioner will grant the extension. The joint commissioner or assistant commissioner will grant the extension and he will communicate to the proper officer if there are sufficient grounds. And then proper officer will revoke our cancellation of registration. That means he will give back our registration. Sir, in which form we have to apply? REG 21. In this form, we have to ask for revocation of cancellation of registration. In order to file this REG 21, now let me come back. In order to file this REG 21, yeah, here is the thing. Aadhaar authentication mandatory. At the time of submitting this one, sir, it is asking for Aadhaar authentication. Either Aadhaar OTP we need to type, or if Aadhaar and PAN is not linked, our PAN card, self-certified PAN Aadhaar card need to be attached there. The procedure is very simple, sir. At the time of filing itself, it will ask us not only for REG 21, not only for revocation, for all the refund applications, RFD 01. Recently, sir, last week only, at the time of filing RFD 1, it has asked for Aadhaar authentication. Then what we have done? We have taken Aadhaar copy of the SSC self-certified that we have attached. Then only filing has been done. So Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory for revocation application, refund application, and refund application of IGST paid on goods exported out of India. Even in this case also, refund application under rule number 96. In all these three cases, from 1st January 2022 onwards, so new year only they have implemented this provision. Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory. In three forms, they have specified Aadhaar authentication mandatory. Number 1, revocation of cancellation of registration. Number 2, refund application in RFD1. Number 3, refund application under rule number 96. So in these three cases, Aadhaar authentication has become mandatory. Okay. So now coming to further amendments. Sir, any queries on my discussion? So you can post it in the chat box so that at the end of the session, each and every query which is being raised, I will give you the clarification. Next. This has saved a lot of time in our practice. ITC 4. ITC 4, this amendment has saved a lot of time in our practice. Whenever the goods were sent for job work, delivery challan must be issued. Those delivery challan details, quarterly we are required to file ITC 4. But now the frequency of filing has been amended. From 1st October 2021 onwards, half yearly filing, when turnover is more than 5 crores, half yearly we are going to submit ITC 4 after end of half year. April to September, October 25th, October to March, April 25th. So ITC 4 earlier quarterly filing, sir. Now half yearly filing. But our turnover is less than 5 crores, up to 5 crores, yearly filing. Need not file half yearly also. Yearly filing after completing the year by 25th April you file. Sir, here aggregate turnover of last year should be seen. Which here, sir, aggregate turnover during the preceding financial year to be considered. I repeat, aggregate turnover during the preceding financial year should be considered. Last year turnover we need to see. If our turnover is up to 5 crores, then what we need to do? Yearly once only ITC 4. Earlier, the delivery challan details, all the DCs, delivery challan details, which were sent for job work, we need to update in ITC 04. This ITC 04 earlier due dates were quarterly specified, but now the frequency has been changed. When our turnover is greater than 5 crores, half yearly filing has come into existence. When our turnover is up to 5 crores, yearly once filing is enough. Here turnover, which year we need to see, running year or previous year? Preceding financial year turnover forms the basis. Okay, sir, the 7th point, is it clear? 7th amendment. Next, coming to amendment number 8. Very, very important amendment. If last month 3B is not filed, next month GSTR 1 we cannot file. GSTR 1 cannot be filed if 3B of the preceding month is not filed. This amendment has come into existence from this 1st January only. Even though notification is released earlier, from this 1st January only this has come practical implementation. A registered person shall not be allowed to furnish GSTR 1 if he has not furnished the 3B of the preceding month. Only when preceding month is filed, then only current month GSTR 1 we can file. So this gives a lot of impact, because now unless input is uploaded in GSTR 1 by the seller, buyer cannot get ITC in GSTR 2B. That's why this concept has come into existence. So if 3B, tax payment is also mandatory. No, seller has to pay the tax. If 3B is not filed, he cannot file next month GSTR. Next, bank account. Sir, GST refund, sir, we are going to select the bank account. Even in our non-core field, we can update our bank account details also. Bank account updation has become mandatory for refund cases. And now very, very important thing is that bank account must be Aadhaar linked. That bank account must be Aadhaar linked in case of proprietor. For company and partnership firms, no issue. Directly based on that firm name only bank account will be. But for proprietors, sir, bank account might be in firm name. Bank account might be in firm name. But this SSC is applying refund application. Trade names are based on trade name. Trade name is different. And PAN name in PAN card is different. Proprietor will have some name, no? For example, I am having a proprietary concern, Sri Venkateswara Creations. My bank account might be in the name of Sri Venkateswara Creations. So that's why what they have specified here is proprietors has to update their Aadhaar number. In case of proprietor concern, sir, you update your Aadhaar number in bank account. So for refunding, to get GST refunds, bank account shall mean bank account which in the name of applicant and obtained his PAN. Provided in case of proprietary concern, PAN number of the proprietor should also be linked with the Aadhaar. PAN and Aadhaar should also be linked to get refunds. Okay, if it is already linked, no issue, sir. To get a refund, not to get failure of refund, this aspect has been cleared. Update your PAN and also Aadhaar to your bank account. This is amendment number 9. Next. Coming to amendment number 10. NAPA stands for National Anti-Profiteering Authority. NAPA stands for National Anti-Profiteering Authority. So this, in order to control anti-profiteering, that means when tax rate is reduced, ultimately sale price also should be reduced. If we don't reduce sale price, and if the seller is getting the benefit, that will be called as anti-profiteering. So to control that anti-profiteering, National Anti-Profiteering Authority has come into existence. That National Anti-Profiteering Authority, sir, initially they said only 3 years that authority will be. Later they have extended to 4 years, and now it was extended to 5 years. National Anti-Profiteering Authority tenure for 5 years it is in existence. Sir, what we need to do, how this is useful to our practice, we have to suggest to our clients, sir, whenever tax rate is reduced, sale price also we have to reduce. Same sale price if we charge, it will benefit to the seller. We are paying lower taxes now. So at the same time, sale price also you have to reduce. If you don't reduce sale price, or another situation, earlier in one of the case, ITC is blocked. Now if amendment is given that you can avail ITC on that aspect. Whenever we are availing ITC, it is benefit to us, ultimately sale price also should be reduced. So if you don't reduce sale price, that will be called as anti-profiteering. So if you are doing such anti-profiteering, National Anti-Profiteering Authority will issue us notices and recover that difference amount along with interest from us. That's why. So for 5 years, this anti-profiteering concept is applicable. So they have extended. This is amendment number 10. Next, this is very, very useful aspect in our practice, sir. Just today only, we have filed around 2 to 3 DRC 03s also using this aspect. Additional causes added, sir, at the time of filing DRC 03, because any demand to be paid to the department, we have to pay through DRC 03 only. At the time of applying in DRC 03, it is going to ask the reason. At the time of applying for DRC 03, it is going to ask the reason why you are paying DRC 03. Earlier, only 2 to 3 reasons were given: annual return, reconciliation statement, or others specified. But now voluntary. Now many causes were added. If you see, 4, 7, 9 causes were there. We have to select why we are paying taxes now using DRC 03. Whether any mistakes found during annual return, or whether any mistakes found during, here if you see one by one, let us see. Number 1, audit. Here audit in the sense it might be GST audit, that means reconciliation statement, or departmental audit under section 65. Commissioner office, audit commissioner office, they are going to select some cases for audit under section 65, departmental audit. So due to the departmental audit, they have finally passed the order to pay the taxes. So that audit or reconciliation statement, anything found mistakes to pay taxes during reconciliation statement or during annual return. So all the taxes to be paid after filing GST returns. If we find any additional taxes to be paid, we have to file it through DRC 03. Yes or no? Yes. In the DRC 03, selection of reason is also very important. Selection of correct reason is very important. So whether by department audit or reconciliation statement at the time of filing 9C, I have found some queries, or at the time of filing annual return, I have found some queries, or department has come for inspection to our premises, they have come for inspection and they have found some suppressed stock. On that stock, they are asking to pay GST. Then we have to select this reason, inspection or investigation. Next, whether nothing has been identified with department, I am voluntarily paying. Yeah, then we can use this voluntary. Many of the cases we use this voluntary only. Next, if department has raised any show cause notice, that show cause notice number, date also we need to select. Next, this is very useful. Now, before issuing notice, department is giving intimation. Directly now they are not raising notice. First they are giving intimation. We found some discrepancies between 3B and 2A. We found some discrepancies between 3B and 1. So, does it amount to liability? Give us clarification. Intimation is being issued. After issuing that intimation, if I am paying taxes, so I have to select this reason called intimation of tax. Next, mismatch between 1 and 3B. This in one of the cases, today we have the time of filing annual return. In one case, we found that in GSTR 1, he has disclosed a tax amount of 1.96 lakhs. But in 3B, he has paid only 1.76 lakhs. 20,000, there is a difference. So mismatch between 1 and 3B. This I am going to select the reason and I am going to pay the taxes in DRC 0. Next, this is very useful. Mismatch between 2B and 3B. So now whatever ITC is given in 2B, that one only we have to take. That amendment also, next I am trying to discuss, sir. Amendment number 12, very important in our practice. Here I will discuss. Next, mismatch between 2B and 3B. Mismatch between GSTR 2B and 3B. So if I have claimed any excessive claim, if I have claimed any excessive amount, that amounts to mismatch. That excessive amount, if I am going to pay, I have to select this reason, mismatch between 2B and 3B. Next, others, any other reason we are paying, that reason we need to type specify. So like this, cause of payments are earlier only 2-3 causes were given, but now here if you see 4-7-9 causes for payment. Cause of payment in DRC 03, 9 causes were being given. Correct cause we need to select and make the payment in DRC 03. Okay. So this is amendment number 11. Next, amendment number 12. This is also very sad provision to us. Claim in 3B cannot exceed 2B. In a single line they have said, sir. Claim in 3B cannot exceed 2B. Earlier, provisional ITC 20% we have taken. Later, that 20% is restricted to 10%. That 10% is later restricted to 2%, 5%. But now there is no provisional ITC at all. Whatever is given in 2B, that one only we have to take. Sir, this January return, when we will file next month in February, we will file January return. No? In that return, whatever is presented in 2B, that one only we should take. Extra amount we cannot take at all. If in 2B 5 lakhs is displayed, 5 lakhs only we have to take. Sir, when SSE has not uploaded, sir, tell him to upload and you take that ITC next month. Whenever he is uploading, then only we have to take. So now there is no provisional ITC. Earlier 5% we have claimed additionally. Sir, in 9/10/2019, this year, this ITC concept has been introduced. Before 9/10/2019, there is no concept at all. Based on purchase register, as per our books of accounts, whatever there is ITC, that we are claiming. Before 9/10/2019. But with effect from 9/10/2019, maximum 20% additional claim only they have permitted. From 2020 onwards, 1st January, 10% only they said to claim. From 1st January 2021, only 5% they said to take. And this new year, sir, please change this date, sir. This is mistake. 2022. Please change this one, sir. Please change this to 2022. So with effect from 1st January 2022, so there is no provisional ITC at all. No provisional ITC, sir. That means whatever it was given in GSTR whatever was given in GSTR 2B, that one only we need to take. Now we can't claim any additional amounts. Sir, please change this one to 1st January 2022. Okay. So next, let me continue. So coming to the next thing, pre-deposit for appeal. Sir, whenever we are going for appeal, sir, regarding appeal, sir, one special point which is useful to all the chartered accountants, let me tell you. For our practice also, to argue against the department, this would be very, very useful, sir. There is a circular number '. Very, very useful to all the chartered accountants. Let us concentrate. Yeah, circular number 10 in my serial number 10, but practically circular number 157, 2021. This is the 13th circular. Overall, this is the 157th circular. In that circular, what they have specified here is, during this Corona time, that means from 15th March 2022, 28th February 2022, between these two dates, any order passed by the department, generally to appeal, when we have to go, sir, within 3 months. Within 3 months, we have to apply for appeal. To Commissioner Appeals, we have to apply within 3 months from the date of order. But any order passed between 15th March 2022, 28th February 2022, any order passed. So due to increase in COVID-19 cases, what they have specified here is 90 days from 1st March 2022. Sir, very, very useful. Even though you have not applied for appeal for past orders, now we have a golden chance to apply for appeal, sir. It's a golden chance to apply for appeal. Past orders. Sir, I am not telling regarding refund applications. Refund application time limits as usual only. GSTR 1 and 3B time limits as usual only. What time limit has been extended by the Supreme Court? Supreme Court has given, whenever if you want to file joint commissioner or additional commissioner appeals or commissioner appeals, whatever may be, even advanced ruling, appellate authority for advanced ruling. So these cases, what they have specified is, for any orders passed between these two dates, from 15th March 2022, 28th March to 28th February 2022. Sir, this date is not has come. We are now in 28th January only. Next month till 28th February, any order passed between 2020 March to 2022 February. For all these orders, if you have forgot to go for appeal, or if time period of appeal is expired, don't worry. You are getting 90 days from this 1st March. From 1st March onwards, now you have 90 days time to apply for appeal. From 1st March onwards, you have 90 days time to go for appeal. So very, very useful aspects. Okay. So coming to the next one. Now let me come back for our discussion. Yeah. So regarding this appeal. Yeah, regarding this appeal, sir. Generally, when we apply for appeal, what is the pre-deposit we have to make? 10% of the tax liability. Interest and penalty we need not pay, sir. 10% of the tax liability we have to make pre-deposit. When we want to go for appeal, 10% of the tax amount we have to make pre-deposit. But there is an amendment here. If it is for 129(3) order, that means interception of the vehicle during transit. When any transit vehicles were being intercepted, then department will levy penalty. How much penalty? From this 1st January onwards, penalty has been amended, sir. That is next topic. First, let me discuss this 14th one, sir. After discussing this 14th amendment, then I will come back for 13th amendment, sir. First, let me discuss this 14th amendment. Very, very useful, sir. To scare our clients, sir, this provision is useful. This provision is useful to scare our clients. Clients in buyback provision. We can make our clients scare. Sir, whenever the bill value is exceeding 50,000, e-way bill must be raised. And whenever our turnover is greater than 50 crores, e-invoice also should be raised. And the value of the invoice, tax amount, tax rates, everything should be correct. If in transit, department intercepts any vehicle due to suspicion, if they stop any vehicle and upon verification, they found value is not correct, tax rate is not correct, or e-way bill there are mistakes, then what will the department do? Penalty under section 129. How much is the penalty under section 129? Sir, here if you see penalty under section 129, when owner comes forward, 200% of the tax will be levied as penalty. I repeat, sir, 200%. From 1st January 2022, this amendment has come. I repeat, sir, from 1st January 2022, from this new year onwards only, this amendment has come. Earlier penalty equal to tax, sir, but now penalty 200% of the tax will be levied as penalty. That means if tax amount 50,000, penalty 1 lakh. Sir, whether tax should be paid, tax should be paid plus penalty 200% of the tax also should be paid. Very burden to this. From this 1st January, this amendment has come. In case of exempted goods, sir, if there are any mistakes found during transit vehicles, then 2% of the goods value or 25,000, whichever is lower, should be paid as penalty. Sir, when owner comes forward, 200% of the tax will be levied as penalty in case of taxable goods. In case of exempted goods, 2% of the value of goods or 25,000, whichever is lower, will be levied as penalty. So this is a case where owner is known. But if owner name is not known, the driver is not specifying, sir, bill is not raised at all. Sir, what about e-way bill? Bill is only not raised. E-way bill is also not raised. Unofficial goods were being transported. Department has intercepted the vehicle. That driver should say who is the owner. If owner does not come forward, if he is not telling the owner name, then on driver only we will levy penalty. How much? 50% of the value of the goods. Sir, here 200% you have specified. Here only 50%. You are giving discount, sir. Sir, 50% of goods value, not tax. Here 200% of tax. Here 50% of goods value, sir. On goods value, 50% you are liable to pay penalty. Or 200%, whichever is higher. If owner does not come forward, on goods value 50% you have to pay. Or 200% of tax payable, whichever is higher penalty you need to pay. In case of exempted goods, here 2% is given. Here in that place, 5% is given for exempted goods. 5% or 25,000, whichever is lower. Is it clear, sir? So these penalties have been amended. Whatever I have given in this bold portion, sir, this 200%, this 200%, these are the amendments, sir, which has come from 1st January 2020. So let me erase and deal with further provision. There is one more amendment regarding this aspect. Sir, here how much tax the SC should pay? 200 normal tax plus 200% of tax as penalty. Within how many days? Within 7 days. Here how many days time period is given? 7 days. Earlier 14 days, sir. Earlier in place of this 7 days, 14 days is there, sir. But from 1st January 2022 onwards, now SSC within 7 days is required to show the cause. He has to make the payment. Okay, sir. That for 15 days has been changed to 7 days. For early clearing of assessments, they have framed this aspect. Next, And there is another amendment, sir. Transporter also should pay penalty. Earlier only taxpayer is liable to pay penalty, but now illegal goods transported by transporter. Now the transport, Kranti transport, generally they don't do illegally, but any new transporter, if he is making illegal transportation, that means for goods where bill is not raised or wrong value is quoted, such type of goods if you make transportation, transporter is liable to 200% of tax penalty or 1 lakh. Minimum here 200% of tax or 1 lakh maximum, whichever is lower, penalty should pay. Who has to pay this penalty? Transporter should pay penalty. I repeat, sir, here transporter also should pay penalty. Not only the SSE who is making violation, transporter also should pay penalty. Till here, is it okay, sir? Next, now let me continue. Now let me continue. Yeah, sir, here finally how much penalty here? 200% of the tax penalty you have to pay. But if you want to argue the order, department has passed order to pay 200% of the tax as penalty. If you want to argue, we have to go for appeal. For going for appeal here, 25% of the penalty should be paid as pre-deposit. Sir, generally pre-deposit, how much we need to pay? 10% of the tax we need to pay pre-deposit. But regarding this section 129 penalty, sir, I repeat, regarding this section 129 penalty, if you want to go for appeal, then 25% of the penalty should be pre-deposited. I repeat, 25% of the penalty should be pre-deposited in this case. Generally, 10% of tax should be pre-deposited, but for 129(3) orders, that means 129(3) orders means 129 subsection 3 means this penalty, 200% of tax, 50% of value, this penalty is there, no sir? This one, if you want to go for appeal, 25% should be paid as pre-deposit. Then you can go for appeal. Next, let me continue. Next, extension of due dates, GSTR 9 and 9C. So finally, the date is extended. Actually, 31st December is the due date, but it has been extended to 28th February 2020. So GSTR 9 and 9C have been extended to 28th February 2020. Next. Total 17 amendments. We have completed 15, sir. Now let me come for amendment number 16. New rule 144A. New rule 144A. Sir, here, how much tax the SSE should pay? Yeah. Here, SC should pay tax plus 200% of the tax penalty also SC should pay, no sir? 200% of the tax penalty SSE should pay. What happens if SSE do not pay? Here 7 days time period is given. After that 7 days, sir, they will pass order in MOV 9. And then they will wait for 15 days they will wait. Here 7 days time is given to pass the order. After passing order, 15 days time they are going to give to make the payment of these taxes. If SSE do not pay, they will go for auction. Department will sell our goods. Here if you see, where a person fails to pay the penalty within 15 days from the date of order 129 subsection 3. That is what we have discussed now. Within 15 days from order under section 129(3), if a person fails to pay, then what happens, sir? If a person fails to pay, then department can detain the goods, and what they will do? They will make e-auction. They will make e-auction where the person makes to pay. They can sell. They can sell the proceeds. In case of perishable goods, they will not wait 15 days also, sir. If the goods are perishable, early only they can sell it. How they are going to sell? Department e-auction. in DRC 10, they will conduct e-auction. So within 15 days, bids will be accepted. So any person who want to buy those goods, they can give a bid for buying. Whoever gives more money to them, department is going to sell the goods. So successful bidder, DRC 11 will be issued. They should pay within 15 days. After completion of bid, if DRC 11 is issued that you are the successful bidder in the sense he is the buyer, that buyer should pay within 15 days. Then ownership will be transferred in DRC 12. Ownership will be transferred in DRC 12. Okay. If SSC want to argue, he can go for appeal. That appeal, what I have said to you, appeal under section 107. What I have said to you, 25% of penalty should be paid as pre-deposit, and he can go for appeal. And now, sir, finally, how the department sells the goods, intercepted goods during transit, SSC should pay penalty maximum within 15 days of order. Still, if SSC didn't pay taxes, can department start recovery procedure? Yes. What they will do? Through e-auction, they will sell the goods. And after selling, the amount recovered, amendment number 17, sir, the recovered amount, first they will use for administrative costs. For example, in order to update in website, any website charges, any brokerage for the purpose of selling, like that, first they will meet administration cost. Next, they will recover penalty. Next, they will recover taxes. Balance, if any, left. Sir, these goods are sold for 20 lakhs, sir. Administrative cost 1 lakh. Next, balance 19 lakhs. Penalty 5 lakhs. Balance 14 lakhs. Tax amount 4 lakhs. Balance 10 lakhs. Balance left will be deposited to the cash ledger of the SSC. We don't transfer to his bank account, sir. This amount also to cash ledger government will deposit. Government will deposit to the cash ledger of the SSC. Sir, if SSC is absconded, if SSC cannot be traced within 6 months, they will transfer to Consumer Welfare Fund. There is a fund called Consumer Welfare Fund. If SSC cannot be traced within 6 months, then they will transfer to Consumer Welfare Fund. So finally, regarding 129 section amendments we have discussed earlier, equal to tax penalty, but now not equal to tax, 200% of the tax penalty. So if this is not paid after passing order, 15 days department will wait. If SSC is not paying this one, then what will they do? In such cases, department will sell the goods through e-auction. After selling, first administrative cost they will meet, next penalty they will recover, next taxes they will recover, balance also they will not give to the SSC. They will deposit in cash ledger of the SSC. If SSC is not found within 6 months, from that cash ledger, they will transfer to the Consumer Welfare Fund. Okay. So these are the amendments. Total 17 important notifications we have discussed. So there are many other notifications regarding extension of due dates, but there are minor 3B extended for 20 days, GST 1 extended for 10 days. These notifications were not useful. These are month-wise only, they are useful. But these notifications which I have discussed here, they are universal concepts, very, very useful in our practice. Total 17 notifications we have discussed. So now I am going to discuss with you the circulars. Yeah. Now let me discuss circulars. Circulars might not be useful for all the people, sir, but because they are business specific, some circulars were. But most circulars which were universal, those aspects I am trying to discuss now. This first circular number 148, sir, 2021. This is the 4th circular. Overall, this is the 148th circular. This first circular we have already discussed. Standard operating procedure for revocation of cancellation. We have to write a letter to the proper officer. He will forward to the jurisdictional commissioner, and they will give acceptance. and our cancellation of registration can be revoked. That means we can get back our registration. This amendment, this circular I have already discussed. Now coming to circular number 149. Catering services to Anganwadis. Sir, catering services to school, we already know that it is exempted. Entry number 66, notification number 12/2017, entry number 66. Catering services to school is already exempted. But now, what is the new thing that was added? Anganwadi schools. Anganwadi is nothing but preschool only. Here, if you see Anganwadis is also education institution. They provide preschool services. So that one also. So catering services provided to Anganwadis is also exempted. Sir, this catering services fund may be provided by government or non-corporates, whatever may be, sir. If I am supplying catering service, if I am giving catering service to schools, I am charging fee, I am charging service charges per meal. If I am charging 50 rupees from school, is it exempted? Yes. The catering services provided to school were exempted. That is this first point. Next, Anganwadi schools also were being added in this circular. Sir, all the circulars were clarifications. Circulars are not amendments, sir. Circulars are clarifications to the provisions specified in GST Act and rules. So here we are trying to discuss 20 circulars. Total in today's session, sir, we are discussing 20 circulars. Circular number 2, Anganwadi schools catering services were exempted. Next. Whether construction of roads is it taxable? Yes. Sir, early toll charges were exempted. Yes or no? Yes. Toll charges, even we pay annuity, lump sum payment of toll charges. Now, FASTag has also come into existence. That is also exempted from GST. If we pay construction of road as an annuity, construction of roads are lump sum amount government is paying by way of annuity. Whether this annuity and toll charges annuity one and the same? No, both concepts were different from each other. Construction of roads will be liable to tax. From this 1st January, there is amendment, sir. Construction of roads to central government, state government, local authority. Construction of roads to them, 12% GST. Construction of roads to government entities. Government entity means 90% capital held by government or entity formed by government specific act. Now for them 18% GST. Earlier construction of roads to government entities 12% GST. But from this 1st January onwards 18% GST is being levied. Okay. Next. Sir, any queries you can post in chat box. I will give you clarification after completing my discussion. Next, National Board of Examination, central or state boards, whatever may be, CBSE or SSC, central or state boards, if they conduct any admission entrance examinations or the admission fee which was charged there, it is exempted. Here if you see online testing, result publication, printing of notification for examination, question papers, whatever may be, for all these, if they take admission fee. So if we are paying any exam fees, admission fees, it was exempted. This we already know. But now they are also providing placement services like accreditation fee, placement services, or foreign medical test. For foreign medicals, screening test they are providing. For foreign entrance examinations also, they are providing a payment gateway. There 18% GST applies. Only recognized by Indian law. The courses recognized by Indian law admission fee is exempted. But accreditation fee, placement services, or FMGE screening test, foreign medical general entrance test, sir. So that will be charged GST at the rate 18%. Next. Ropeway construction in North India to encourage tourism. Ropeways were being constructed, sir, to government entities. Earlier to government entities, if we construct 12% GST, But now from this 1st January onwards, 18% GST because it is for tourism business purpose. So construction of ropeway, 18% GST. Next. Any queries, sir? You can post it in the chat box. I will clarify at the end of the session. Next. Amendment number 6. These are circulars, sir. They are giving clarifications here. Sir, milling of wheat into flour or paddy into rice to governments. Any government contract if we receive to convert paddy into rice or wheat into flour. In these cases, sir, listen carefully. If we only purchase paddy and supply to government, it is liable to GST. But government is bringing paddy to our rice mill and they are saying to convert into rice. We are providing services. In this case, if the material value does not exceed 25%, it is exempted. Sir, if we purchase paddy and sell rice to state government, then this is fully liable to GST. When exemption is given, if government only sends paddy to our rice mill and we convert them into rice and give to them and we charge service fee. This service fee, sir, where material value if it does not exceed 25%, material for fortification, packing material, if this material value does not exceed 25%, it will be exempted from GST. If goods value is exceeding 25%, then it will attract GST. Okay, next. Government providing guarantee services for which government charges guarantee commission. This might be not useful to all of us, but since there is a circular, all the circulars from past April 1st onwards, from April 1st 2020 to 21 onwards, till now, whatever the circulars were released, those I am trying to discuss, sir. Even though it is not useful for practice, since there is a circular, so it's my job to give a clarification regarding that aspect. To state government, if state government give guarantee to public sector undertaking units loan, sir, here loan is borrowed by public sector undertakings for whom state government is giving guarantee, and state government will charge guarantee commission. That guarantee commission is exempted from GST. That clarification is given here. Next, this one to some extent it will be useful in our practice, sir. Drip irrigation system, parts which were sold. Sir, here if you see parts that are suitable for drip irrigation system also will be liable to 12% GST, 6% CGST, 6% SGST. Sir, drip irrigation system, sir, if it was sold, drip irrigation means, sir, through pipe for each, let me show you in Google so that it would be very easy to understand. Drip irrigation. Yes, sir. Here if you see images. So like this, drip irrigation means nothing but like this pipelines, water supply will be given. Whenever there is the water content is lower, immediately using these pipelines, water will be supplied to these plants. So this is drip irrigation system. Here if you see drip irrigation system, whenever the water content is low, automatically it will supply water. Okay. So now coming to drip irrigation system, what does it relate to our GST? On the drip irrigation systems sales are 12% GST is being specified. What is the rate of GST, sir? 12% GST is being specified. But now what is the amendment is, any parts relating to the drip irrigation system are sold, any spare parts, those spare parts also liable to 12% GST. Even those spare parts were sold independently, since drip irrigation systems were liable to 12%, spare parts also will be liable to 12%. Any general parts, general use, not only for drip irrigation, that part can be used for other cases also. Then that respective heads only, that respective part rate we need to see. So generally, spare parts relating to this drip irrigation systems, 12% GST will get attracted. That is what is the amendment. Next. Very, very important in our practice, sir, this circular. This circular might be very, very useful to our practice. Sir, whenever our turnover is greater than 500 crores, from this 1st July 2021 onwards, QR code is mandatory to quote in the invoice. QR code is mandatory. Here, if you see, let me show you this one also practically. So this is the QR code. This QR code should be presented in invoice. Should be displayed in invoice. Whenever our turnover is greater than, like this, sir. Here if you see in this gas bill, since their turnover is greater than 500 crores, sir. Here what they have done is, here one QR code is being displayed here. Did you see in invoice, sir? Here one QR code is being displayed. Even in this invoice also, one QR code is being displayed. So this, what does this QR code indicates? SSE can scan this QR code in PhonePe or Google Pay and he can make the payment. That system has been designed so that if SSE makes, if the customer makes payment through PhonePe and Google Pay, this amount will be credited to the bank account. No, he will compulsory show the turnover. SSE will show compulsory turnover. Later he will not make any tax evasion. Directly it will be credited to bank account. If cash is received, there are some tax evasions. That's why what the department has specified is this QR code, making payment through Paytm, PhonePe, Google Pay. That option you have to give on invoice only. That option you have to give on invoice only. That is what dynamic QR code is specifying. How to generate this QR code means using Razor Pay, PhonePe, Google Pay. There are there are many options to generate this QR code, and in invoice that QR code must be printed. Sir, what are the contents of QR code? You remember? Invoice number, GST number of seller, GST number of buyer if exist. Generally this is B2C sales only, so there will be no GST number of buyer. Number one, GST number of seller, invoice number, invoice date, invoice value. All these should be presented in this QR code. When they scan this one, all these should be presented to the SSE. That's why for every invoice, separately QR code should be taken. In website, in E-Invoice website, separate QR code should be taken for each invoice. That QR code must be printed in the invoice. Okay. For all the B2C cases, they have to print a QR code. Using that, SSE can make the payment. But there are some clarifications given here in case of QR code. If recipient is UIN holder, that means foreign embassies, they are called unique identification number holders. Foreign embassies, UIN will be given to them. For them, they are also will be considered as B2C supplies only. QR code must be printed for them also. Next, in cases payment is collected by ECO, like if we take as example Snapdeal, Amazon, Flipkart. Through Amazon and Flipkart, if I am going to buy a product, seller is Mr. A, but Mr. A is selling the product through Amazon. On invoice, they have to print QR code. Whose QR code must be presented there? Their ECO QR code, Amazon QR code should be printed. UPI ID of electronic commerce operator may be provided. If transaction is made through electronic commerce operator, who has to generate UPI ID? Who has to generate, sir? Electronic commerce operator has to generate. Next. If payment is received in foreign currency, then UPI ID is not necessary. Why? Payment directly it will be created to bank account. They are not paying through PhonePe, Google Pay. So whoever customer wants to pay or not, whenever our turnover is greater than 500 crores, at any time during the from 17-18 onwards, in a year, if our turnover exceeds 500 crores, then for all the B2C cases, QR code must be printed. But if customer wants to pay in foreign currency, UPI ID, that means QR code is not mandatory. Next, sir, in counter, they are displaying QR code now. Even in tiffin centers also, even in fruit shop also, QR code, pay through Paytm, scan this one and pay, they are specifying. If customer pays using that QR code, then whether separate QR code should be printed on invoice. In such case, sir, invoice number need not be printed. In QR code, specifically invoice number we need not print. Generally, each invoice, I said, separate QR code should be taken. But if QR code is displayed at counter, in such case, that QR code need not contain the invoice number. But payment reference number should be given. Automatically, whenever we are making payment through PhonePe, Google Pay, automatically one payment reference number we are going to get. Next, sir, any discount coupon or voucher is being used, then for balance amount only QR code should be taken. Any discounts, then on balance amount only QR code should be taken, because at the for discounts, what happens, sir? For discounts, what happens? On coupons, at the time of issuing coupon only GST they will pay. If any voucher or discount coupon is used, at the time of issuing coupon only they will pay GST. That's why that amount they have to exclude. For balance amount only QR code must be generated. Next, amendment number 10, the circular number 157 I have already discussed it, sir. Appeals time limit is extended. From 1st March onwards, we have 90 days time for all the orders passed between 15th March 2022, 28th December 2022. So Supreme Court has given passed the writ, and they specified that 90 days should be counted from this March 1st. So pending orders, sir, if you didn't file for appeal, now you can file. Next, circular number 158, sir. This has already been ended by 30 September 2021. That's why now no need of discussion, sir. This concept has already been completed by 30th September 2021. Now we are in January 2022. So this circular is not necessary for discussion. But since it's in order, I have presented there, sir. Next. Very, very important, sir. During COVID time, many were in the house and providing intermediary services online. Many agents, sir, they are selling foreign company products and they are receiving commission in India. Sir, seller is in outside India. Seller is in outside India. Buyer also outside India. But intermediary, we are the intermediaries, we are in India. And we are receiving commission in foreign currency. Intermediary will receive commission, no, sir. Commission is received in foreign currency. Commission received in foreign currency, is it liable to GST at the rate 18%? They are saying this is export of service. For export of service, GST need not be paid. Many were saying, telling the same thing. Sir, listen carefully, sir. Agents receiving commission in foreign currency, is it liable to GST? Answer is yes, it is liable to GST. Because, sir, intermediary services, place of supply is location of the supplier. Here, supplier, who is the supplier? Agent is the supplier. Agent is having location of supplier is in India. Place of supply is also location of supplier only, India. When both were in India, it is not export of service. What do you mean by the term export of service? When place of supply is outside India, then you have to say it as export of service. In case of intermediary services, place of supply rules, section 13, what it has specified? Location of the supplier will be regarded as the place of supply. So, agent receiving commission in foreign currency. Agent receiving commission in foreign currency. Is it liable to GST at the rate 18% in India? Answer is yes. it is liable. What do you mean by the term intermediary? There should be minimum 3 parties. 3 parties means seller, buyer, and intermediary. 3 parties there. Next, there should be main supply and ancillary supply. Sir, main supply is main product. Ancillary supply means agency services. Through agent, they are trying to supply the goods. That is what 2 distinct supplies. Next, intermediary should have an agent broker character. Okay. Next, does not include if you make on your own account. Sir, we are not trying to sell on our own. Through an agent, we are required to sell. And very, very important, subcontracting is not intermediary. Subcontracting means we are a new contractor. Subcontracting does not amount to intermediary service. So finally, why intermediary clarification is given in this 159, sir? During COVID time, sir, many have received commission in foreign currency. And they are saying this is export of service and no GST. No, sir, there is GST. Here, place of supply is location of supplier only. It is liable to GST. Next. Some clarifications were given in this 160 circular. Debit notes. Sir, when we receive credit note, ITC must be reversed. When we receive GST credit note, ITC must be reversed. But when we receive GST debit note, we can avail ITC. Before which date we have to avail ITC, sir? If today I have received debit note, today I have this month I have to avail ITC. If I am missing to avail ITC this month, I have time up to next year September, irrespective of underlying invoice. Like sir, if I miss invoices we are claiming ITC. Next month September, till next month September we have time limit to avail ITC on invoices. In the same way, here also what they have specified here is for debit notes, you have to avail ITC before the due date of September of the next year. You have time up to next year September. If this month I forgot to avail ITC on debit note, I have time up to next year September, irrespective of underlying invoices. Okay. Next, very, very useful aspect. When E-Invoice is issued, sir, physical copy of invoice is not mandated. If you want, you can take physical copy, but it's not mandated. When E-Invoice is issued, that E-Invoice in our mobile or laptop, that's enough. Physical copy not necessary. When department stops any vehicle, then whether should I disclose E-Invoice, is it enough? Yes, physical copy is not mandated. Next, circular number 161. Clarification regarding export of services. Sir, why we are focusing on export of services? Export of services were exempted, were not liable to GST. Those will be regarded as zero-rated supplies. Export of services will be regarded as zero-rated supplies. That means no GST on export of services. I repeat, on export of services, there is no GST at all. What is the clarification given regarding them? Sir, when foreign company has Indian branch, okay. Now, if Indian branch makes any supply of goods or services to the foreign company, does it amount to export of service? No. Why? Because we are same persons only. They have defined as distinct persons for the purpose of getting registration in GST. In GST, Indian company, foreign branch, they have said these two as distinct persons. But why? For getting GST registration. Any service supplied by Indian branch to foreign company, it will not be regarded as export of service. That means you are liable to pay GST. Services provided by establishment of, here if you read the theory, any supply of service by establishment of foreign company in India, that means Indian branch providing service to foreign companies, it will not be covered by export of service definition. That means we are liable to pay GST. Next, reverse. Indian company having foreign branch. Indian company is having foreign branch. If we provide service to that foreign branch, Can I say this is export of service? No, because it is nothing but services between distinct persons only. Sir, these distinct persons only for the purpose of registration. But we should not consider them as export of services. That means this one also liable to GST. That means Indian branch providing services to foreign company, or Indian company providing services to foreign branch, whatever may be, both will be liable to GST. They will not be regarded as export of service. That has been clarified in circular number 161. Next, circular number 162. Very, very useful, sir. Sir, by mistake, in place of CGST and SGST, I have paid IGST. Now, what I have to do? Now, I have to pay CGST and SGST and ask IGST as a refund. Even taxpayer himself, earlier, what department has specified is only if officer identifies, then you have to ask for refund. But now, even though officer do not identify, at the time of filing annual return, I found this one. Instead of CGST, SGST, by mistake, I have paid IGST. Then what I have to do? Now pay CGST and SGST and ask IGST as refund. RFD 1 you have to file. Here, 2 years time limit will be given from the correct tax payment. Now I have paid, sir. From now onwards, 2 years. For all the payments made before 24th September 2021, 2 years time limit from this 24th September is given. From this 24th September onwards, 2 years time limit is given. For all taxes paid before 24th September, 2 years time limit from 24th September is given till 2023. But now onwards, sir, today, if I have identified by mistake, I have paid IGST in place of CGST, SGST, or in place of IGST, by mistake, I have paid CGST, SGST, whatever may be. You pay correct tax now through DRC 03, you pay correct tax, and the wrong tax which you have paid, if you taxpayer himself identifies or tax officer identifies, whatever may be, what I need to do, sir? I have to ask for a refund within 2 years from correct payment. Now you make correct payment and within 2 years you ask for refund. Is this 162 clear, sir? Next. 163, business wise, sir, some agricultural products process, manufacturing activity done on some agricultural products. Some GST rates have been clarified here. Around 30 to 40 rates were notified here. This is business specific, sir. We can't discuss here. Some respect to business only that will be applicable. If you want, you can go through that. But for us, it will not be useful. For businesses, it will be useful. This is not universal topic. For some specific businesses, tax rate have been specified there. If you want, you can go through the circular. Next, circular number 164. Very, very useful, sir. Ice cream parlors. Earlier, they have paid 5% GST ice cream parlors. What they are saying is, we are not selling ice creams directly. We are mixing that flavor, this flavor, nuts, bolts, everything we are mixing, and we are selling that ice cream. We are providing restaurant services. We will pay 5% GST, they have specified. But now that is not possible. Supply of ice creams will attract 18% GST. Even though some additional ingredients were added, ice cream purchase 18% GST, ice creams sale in parlor, cream stone, magnet stone, whatever may be. All these cases, 18% GST will be levied. So ice cream sales, 18% GST ice cream parlor. Next, cloud kitchen, centralized kitchen, whatever may be, it is nothing but restaurant service only. Sir, there is no restaurant, sir. We only provide Swiggy and Zomato, cloud kitchen. There is no customer tables at all. Directly we sell. Even in this case also, this will be covered under restaurant service. 5% GST will be made. Next, coaching services by coaching institutions and NGOs. For non-government organizations, sir, if they provide scholarship training to students, a specific entry number 72 exemption is given. Useful for that business only, sir. For us, this is not useful for our practice. Next, satellite launch services. They have said this is taxable. Next, toll plaza. This is useful, sir. Toll charges, overloading charges are also exempted. Toll charges includes overloading charges also. That is also exempted. Next, sir, any car or bus, if we let out to state government, to APSRTC or TSRTC, if I let out any bus, the rent I am receiving, it is exempted. Rent or hire, whatever may be the name you are using, the rent we are receiving from government towards let out of that buses, it will be exempted from GST. Mining rate grant, 18% GST, sir. On mining rate, we are going to pay license fee. That license fee is liable to 18% GST. Next, very, very important, sir, alcoholic liquor is not liable to GST, but job work services for alcoholic liquor is liable to GST at the rate 18%. Earlier they said this is a food product and they are paying 5% GST. Alcoholic liquor is not a food product and it will be liable to 18% GST. Job work services to manufacturer of alcoholic liquor, GST at the rate 18% will get attracted. Sir, are you observing? Next, circular number 165. This I have already covered, sir. That appeal, 3 months time period is given from 1st March onwards. From 1st March onwards, 90 days time period is given for all the old appeals which you have not applied. Now you can apply. That I have already covered in serial number 9 above. Next, sir, refund from cash ledger. Generally, within how much time period we have to apply for refund? Within 2 years, we have to apply for refund. But for cash ledger, time limit of 2 years does not apply. At any time, we can apply refund from cash ledger. RFD1 I can file and I can obtain refund from cash ledger. Here, declarations or certifications are not necessary. Here, declarations or certifications are not necessary. No declarations necessary. Auditor certificate is also not required. Sir, GST, TDS and TCS also will be in our cash ledger only. No? That amount also we can ask for refund. Time limit does not apply. GST, TDS and TCS, it will be in our cash ledger. That amount also we can ask for refund. So refund from cash ledger. Okay, next. Circular number 167. Very, very important, sir. Most trending topic from this 1st January onwards. Through Swiggy and Zomato, if restaurants sells the food, on that value, Swiggy, Zomato will pay GST. Generally, here restaurant is the service provider. But from 1st January 2022 onwards, who should pay tax on restaurant services through ECO? In this case, 5% tax should be paid by ECO only. ECO should pay tax. That means from restaurant point of view, it is exempted service. Sales through Swiggy and Zomato, restaurants only are going to pay 5% taxes. Okay, sir. Next. Now there is no concept of TCS. Earlier, 1% GST TCS, 0.5% CGST, 0.5% SGST. Swiggy, Zomato usually collect 1% TCS from them. But now there is no concept of TCS, sir. Now straight away, Swiggy, Zomato only will pay GST, 5%. Now, whether GST TCS attracts? No, because now on those services directly ECO will pay taxes. Sir, what happens if hotel is unregistered? Whatever may be, hotel registered or unregistered, Swiggy and Zomato only will pay GST. Whether how this GST should be paid, sir? Only through cash ledger. Sir, if Swiggy, Zomato has any ITC, whether can they use ITC against this payment? No, this should be paid only by cash ledger. Next, can ECO get 20 lakhs threshold exemption? No, Swiggy, Zomato can't claim 20 lakhs exemption. They should take mandatory registration and they have to pay 5% GST. Next, should ECO make any ITC reversal? No need, sir, because here directly they are paying through cash ledger. No, Since 5% tax they are paying through cash, here no reversal of ITC is required. Next, who has to issue invoice? Sir, here who is paying GST? ECO is paying GST. So invoice also should be issued by Swiggy Zomato only. Next, sir, ECO in GSTR 1, B2C supplies they have to disclose, and in GSTR 3B, in taxable outward supplies they need to disclose. Restaurants, sir, here I have given from restaurant point of view, this is exempted service. From restaurant point of view, this is exempted service. So in GSTR 1, in table 8, they are trying to disclose, and in GSTR 3B, 3.1C, in exempted service column, restaurant should show. So ECO should show in taxable supplies, and restaurant should show in exempted supplies. A complete clarification has been given in this circular. So any sales through Swiggy, Zomato, Swiggy, Zomato is liable to pay GST now. So till here, is it okay? So all the 20 circulars and 17 notifications, I have made a complete discussion, sir. So now let me answer the queries which were raised in chat box. Now let me answer the queries which were raised in chat box, sir. So please send PPT. Yeah, PPT is already shared. Next. Sir, what if Aadhaar mismatch? Sir, now Aadhaar authentication for refund application, revocation of cancellation of registration, and refund of IGST in case of exports. In all these three cases, what I have said to you, sir? In all these three cases, I have said that Aadhaar authentication is mandatory. What happens if Aadhaar authentication is not done? What happens if Aadhaar authentication is not done? Then what happens, sir? We can't file refund application. Unless Aadhaar authentication is done, refund application cannot be filed. Next. If GSTR 1 of my supplier filed for January 2022 after due date, we have not filed 3B for January 22, and we want to file 3B in March 22. At that time, we can file January 22 ITC. Okay, sir. Here, what they are asking is, if previous months, if you are missing any ITC, that one can be claimed now. Yes, you can claim. Next. If penalty levied under section 129 and receiver of supply, can he claim ITC on tax component? No, sir. Here, 129 you are paying penalty means, sir, in blocked credits, sir. In blocked credits, what they have specified is, upon interception of vehicle, if SSE pays any taxes, in this case, buyer cannot avail ITC. It is a blocked credit. Okay, sir. Narendra sir has asked this question, whether ITC can be claimed. No, it is one of the blocked credit. Next, Venkat Ramana sir has asked one of the query. Sir, in case of revocation of cancellation of certificate after 90 days, what will be the position? Yeah, very good question, sir. I should have answered at that time only this one. You have to go for appeal. If 90 days time period is expired, the one and only option available to you is to go for appeal. Okay. Next. If IGST payment made on, and for here, there is no pre-deposit of taxes, you can go directly for appeal. Next. If IGST payment made on import is not reflecting in 2B, what should we do, sir? Sir, on import, sir, bill of entry details you need to check. Bill of entry details were also given in tax liability and ITC comparison table. Please check there. There, if it is not updated, then what we have to do, sir? You have to claim on manual basis. You have to claim there on manual basis. And again, when it is reflected, you should not reclaim. That is what you have to take care. Next. If it is only portal error, sir, if you didn't pay bill of entry correctly, we can't do anything. Any portal error, any customs portal error, then you can do. Next. Jane. In government contracts, construction of bridges for state government is taxable or exempted. Yes, sir. Road, tunnel, bridge construction, it is not exempted. Their 5% GST is being specified. How much, sir? 5% GST. Next. How can we utilize a penalty balance in an electronic cash ledger? How can we utilize penalty balance in cash? Sir, utilization is not correct. Using DRC03, you have to set off that penalty. Any penalties you are paying, sir, using DRC03, you have to set off. First, when you pay the penalty, it will be in your cash ledger. But later, what you have to do? You have to set off that penalty by filing DRC03. Okay. Next. In milling, 25% values includes only goods and also services. Sir, here works contract I am telling, like packing material cost. Like packing material cost I am telling. Government is supplying paddy. What we are doing? We are converting into rice. We are packing them and selling to government. In this case, we are taking service charges from government. In this service charge, goods value should not exceed 25%. Then only we can claim exemption. Next. Mr. Goda is asking one of the question. NHA gave road contract to X. What is the GST rate, sir? National Highway Authority. Now it's 18%. It is a government entity. Now services provided to government entities, 18% GST from this 1st January. Next. Coming to the next one. QR code. See, Raghu sir is asking one of the question. QR code shows invoice value which cannot be modified. If customer has to deduct TDS and pay the balance amount, this is not useful. Then what is the government motive to introduce QR code? Yes, sir. What you have specified is the correct aspect only. So in this case, what you need to do is you reduce the TDS amount and for balance amount only you raise QR code. For balance amount only you raise QR code. That's what one of the clarification given. Any discounts or coupons which were given, that amount you reduce and for balance amount only you raise QR code. Next. In case debit note received in January 2022, whether it can be availed before September 2022 or September 2023. Okay, sir. Here, debit note received in January 2022. That means financial year 21-22. What we need to do? By September 2022 only. By September 2022 only, you have to avail it. P. Murali Krishna, sir. Is it clear? By September 2022 only, you have to avail it. Right. Next. Extension of time for appeal. Can we use it for all appeals including income tax? No, sir. Regarding GST, writ petition I have specified. Okay. Next. RCM on royalty. Applicable, sir. Yes. Government royalty if we pay, it is applicable. Next. Whether mineral exploration rights given by government to private people, whether GST attracted. Yes, sir, GST will get attracted on mining rights under reverse charge mechanism. On that license fee, we have to pay 18% GST. Next. Question raised by Mr. Rupesh. Can you please clarify on claiming ITC on GST invoice raised by Indian company to foreign branch? Yes, sir. If GST invoice is being raised, you can avail ITC. Here what they are doing is Indian company, they are providing services to foreign branch and they are selling, it is export of service, not liable to GST. Like that they are speaking. That's why what I am saying is Indian company providing services to foreign branch or Indian branch providing services to foreign company. Whatever may be, in both the cases, GST invoice must be raised and GST should be paid. If Indian branch receives services from foreign entity, it will be regarded as import of service, and on import of service under reverse charge mechanism we have to pay taxes. Next. I think it was clear to Rupesh. Next. whether GST rate in textile job has been increased with effect from 1st January 22. No, sir, it's 5% only. Next, how the ITC can be claimed by bidder of action goods purchases. Yes, sir, here ITC means in the sense buyer, I think so. Here, how we can claim means under reverse charge mechanism, we have to pay the tax. Because here we are purchasing the goods from government. Whenever we are purchasing goods from government by the successful bidder from government, when we are purchasing under reverse charge mechanism, we have to pay the taxes and avail ITC. Is it clear, sir? Nakul sir has raised this question. I think it was clear. Next. Mr. Krishna sir is asking one question. If a contractor execute government contract and give subcontract only for labor, whether GST attracts on subcontract? Sir, here pure labor services provided to government is only exempted. Here, if you give subcontract means you are a subcontractor. Subcontractor labor services were not exempted. Only labor services provided to government will be exempted. Subcontract will be liable to GST. Next, Mr. Mahesh sir, shall we proceed to file 3B even though there is a variance with 3B? Claiming ITC from RCM from unregistered vendor. Yes, sir. Regarding reverse charge mechanism, you can make edits. But all other ITC, we are availing ITC, no, sir, on all other ITC column. That one we can't claim excess. Whatever the supplier has uploaded, that one only we have to take. Next. Central government gave road contract to X. What is the GST rate? Sir, if central government gives road contract, road, tunnel, bridge, their 5% GST has been specified, that we can proceed. Okay. That's it. So the queries which were being raised were being solved here. All the queries which were being raised were being solved. Yes, sir. If any doubts you need to ask, you can unmute your mic and ask to me. If anyone is having any query, you can ask me or you can post it in the chat box. The query you can post in the chat box.
Sir, anyone can unmute themselves, sir. There is no problem. The security has been changed. Now anyone can ask, you can raise a question or you can raise the hand or else you can directly ask the question.
Any one of you want to directly speak to this, sir, or raise a question or pose a question, or you want to your doubt to get clarified, you can unmute yourself or raise your hand. We will unmute from our side.
Gradha Krishna sir, subcontract portion he is asking once again clarification. Sir, subcontract portion will be liable to GST. For example, government has given contract to me and it's a pure labor service contract. It will be exempted. But if I give subcontract to you, that subcontract service will be liable to GST.
I think so.
Yeah.
Excellent session. I think chocolates are being poured in. Sir, yes, sir.
Appreciations are being poured. I request Chairman sir to give his remarks.
Yeah. That was wonderful, sir. I'm sure that's what you lived up to my. I think so. There, Goda Devi ma'am has raised her hand. Yeah, ma'am. Unmute yourself and ask question, ma'am, if you want. So by mistake, ma'am.
One question by Mr. Mahesh is being asked. Do I need to pay GST when I export the services to my parent company? Yes, sir. You are liable to pay GST in this case using valuation rules based on the fair market value of the service, open market value. You need to pay GST. They shall be regarded as distinct persons.
Sir, in the question I asked previously, the government gave the contract to X. You said 5% is the rate. Then what about if X gave the same to the Y subcontractor?
18% GST.
Previously, it is only the same rate only, sir, for road corner, only for the main
With effect
contractor.
from this 1st January, the GST rates which were specified in notification 11/2017 were amended.
Okay, thank you, sir.
What if LUT? Sir, LUT is only for export of service. You can claim exemption when LUT is submitted. But whenever you are providing service to your parent company located in foreign country, it does not amount to export of service. It does not amount to export of service. You are liable to pay GST.
There are no further queries. I request Chairman sir to kindly take up the things.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful session. Hearing here and there, couldn't listen to you, sir. There is one person. They are asking for whether this video will be made live on YouTube or not. Friends, this will be made available on Vijayawada YouTube channel. You can listen to sir once again on YouTube channel, or you can approach sir through email or contact number and get your doubts clarified. Thank you, Sudhir Garu. I mean, it's no wonder. It's like we got used to your presentations. I know there's. I mean, I'm thinking if there are any new members who have joined or who have become joined today for Vijayawada branch. I mean, they might have well appreciated your speech, sir. I mean, your presentation. It was very efficient and effective. At any time we can go back and simply we can, if we re-listen to your explanation, simply we can understand what the point you are driving in, sir. Thank you for wonderful presentation. I mean, what do you suggest, sir, for closing, wrap this session?
Thank you, Chairman sir. Thank you very much. You can watch any number of times in the YouTube. You know, the YouTube is also Vijayawada branch of SARCF ICAI, and don't forget to subscribe that YouTube so that you can get continuous notifications whenever new program is being initiated by the Vijayawada branch. And that's all for the now. And tomorrow it's going to be very, very, very good session on the IT, very recent burning topic. It is starting from the section 147 to 151. That is reassessments. What are the reassessments? How we have to go on appeals, or how we have to face in the faceless assessment type of a thing, how we have to file the things, and what are the intricacies in preparing the facts of the case and grounds of appeal. Everything will be dealt by in detail. That is a retired Ramdat Sharma sir is a retired gentleman from New Delhi, retired ITO. He's from New Delhi, and I have received the PPT also from him. It really excellent. I'm going to share the same by now itself, so that you can prepare the things and you can well equipped and attend for the session tomorrow evening sharp by 5 o'clock. Thank you, and thank you once again. And this session is going to be ended. Thank you, sir. Thank